Gentlemen, thank you all for your service to your country. I thank each of you. My heartfelt thanks. My question is this: in your memory, what was the response of the South Vietnamese people toward you and toward Americans when you were there? Was there a difference in 1965 and by 1969 in how the South Vietnamese responded to you and toward other Americans?
I'll go ahead and take that one first, since my commander was a Dai Huy. The delusion is that I could tell him anything. I was an American voice that would talk to the aircraft. That was my role. They had a very different perspective in 1971 on what was going to happen to them. They knew, that captain knew that he was going to, his family, and he was thinking in terms of family. His family was in for a difficult time once the Americans left. He understood why we were leaving. I think he would have preferred that his nation not experience communism. My guess is he experienced a re-education camp of some kind. But they were friendly. They traded rations, shared rations. We didn't expect all of them to stay and fight. He picked well. He picked enough that did stay to fight. And so I have nothing but admiration and respect for the South Vietnamese soldiers that I was with. And that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Anybody else?
I didn't have that much. I was with an American unit, so I didn't have a whole lot of experience with the Vietnamese. I didn't get back to Saigon or any of the areas that were where the South Vietnamese were inhabiting. We did have interpreters with us, and they were excellent soldiers. Our bases were around civilian areas, and they were very, very helpful to us. So I was very impressed with the South Vietnamese as fighters and as in their civilian force. They accepted us and treated us with respect and dignity as we did with them.
Thank you. And Wes?
My year assignment in Vietnam was as an advisor with the Vietnamese Marines. That was a battalion advisor. The Tet Offensive caught me halfway through that year. I was impressed with several things, like around in the Saigon area, you had to remind yourself that there was a war going on. The people didn't really show it. They're on their bicycles, their motor scooters, and they're going about their business, and things were pretty much routine until the Tet Offensive. That hit, and it kind of turned everything around. Streets were blocked, checkpoints to go through, all those kinds of things, which kind of messed up the people's routine. From the people side, I guess it's kind of like we are. They put up with and do what they have to do. What I was impressed with during my year that caused me to extend 6 months to go north with our Marines was that the higher-ups, to include the Vietnamese battalion commander, very guilty of it, and then a lot of the politicians, I was impressed with the fact they didn't want the war to end until they had made their retirement money. They were making money out of that war. And I give examples in my memoir, Marine Rifleman, of how he used me to make money until I realized what he was doing, like getting lumber from ships, unloading ammo, and he was selling it on the black market. I got it thinking that he was going to build a base camp that our battalion needed because it was a new battalion, didn't have it. But because of all of that, again, the Tet Offensive came on, and the enemy lost. The enemy lost that battle badly, all the way down, and the war was over, except back in our country. The media, the news media, and the politicians and the vocal few in our society turned that around to where the communists just hung on, and America will quit, and we did that. But again, because of my disappointment with what I was doing, and again, that's an infantry battalion advisor, and my battalion fought well in the Tet Offensive, clearing out our part of Saigon. But when the fighting was over, again, back pretty much to the routine, other than the roadblocks, people checks on the streets and on the main highways. Of course, I went north, and then that's when I got into what I told you about earlier.